So yeah. It was so, like...
Jeans.
Amazing jeans. Another thing that you can really get good at the thrift store, corduroy pants. I got these corduroy pants in LA. These are Lee corduroy pants. I got them for $5 at a Goodwill. Amazing quality. Amazing, amazing quality. Lee is a pretty well-known brand for vintage, like, clothes. And this is one of their, like, at-the-waist jeans. So it, like, literally cinches in at the waist. So it is important to know your measurements because, like, you know, there are lots of people out there who are fabulous and curvy and they have that, like, tiny little waist and big hip and big bust. Jeans like that are probably perfect for you, like something like this, so that at the waist, if you know your measurements, because you can, it's meant to be, you know what I mean, like to suck you in.
That's like $5!
You know, like, you can't beat the price and you can't beat the quality. And I was in a really big corduroy jeans kick, like a winter and a half ago or something, 2 winters ago, and I bought like 2 pairs or 3 pairs of these in LA at a Goodwill, and it was like $10, you know, and my whole wardrobe is fixed because I only ever wear the same like 3 pairs of pants. So that's something about me. Finally, just a pant, an interesting, fun, unique pant. I bought these bad boys. These are suede, snake print, what's that word? Straight leg pants that I bought. You can see the print here. I got these on Etsy, actually. Etsy is also another place where you can sometimes get really good deals for certain clothing items, but it's also a place where you see some vintage shops or anything that will sell something for like $100, $200. If it's not designer, I don't think that anybody should be selling something for that much. That's just the truth. Obviously, if it's a designer item that you can't get anywhere else, it's like been archived, and it was $2,000 when it first came out, selling it for $250 I think is a fair price. But if you're just selling something random, you know, that was mass commercialized, whatever it was, in the 80s or the 70s or the 90s, and you're trying to sell it for like $50, you're an asshole.
I don't know. Just my opinion.
But I got these pants, I think, for $20, $18 or $20 off of Etsy. And it was really fast. I mean, it came in a couple days. That's another thing, too. If you do shop online, you have to be wary about timing and where you're buying it from. You want to be careful, and I think these pants went by regular sizing, like 2, 4, 6, 8, but a lot of vintage items, they tend to be like smaller than they are in what would be considered like a current incarnation. So once again, it makes it even better to know your measurements, because if a vintage item says, like, if you wear a 6 in modern times, and a vintage item says it's a 12, you might think to yourself, oh, this is too big. But, you know, a vintage 12 was like an 8 back then, or a 6 back then. So it's like, if you look at it and it says, oh, it's a 29 waist, it's a 30 waist, I have a 30 waist. It doesn't matter if you're 6. Now, it will fit you and it will look good, you know? So this one, I mean, I think it's a steal just because this is such a cool pattern. And it's not like gross kind of scaly, like it doesn't feel like scales. Like the material is kind of like a suede. It's just so nice. It was such a good buy, and I thought it was worth it. I mean, you can always find pants, like I said, like let me show you the pants I'm wearing right now. These pants are another pair of Levi's that I bought, and they were also $3, you know, and I'm like, they're amazing. They're great quality. They fit. I love them. They're great. They do their job. Blah, 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 you know. A little loose over here. but they're perfect, and they're perfect jeans, and they were $3. It's like you can't go wrong with that sort of thing. And jeans in general, it's like the more you know your measurements, the better you're going to find things that fit, and it's going to make you feel more successful on your thrift store journey, right? So, t-shirts. T-shirts are something that you can find at thrift stores for cheap, and they should be cheap. Unless, like I said, unless it's something that was designer or something that's like super rare, you should never pay tons of money for a t-shirt at a thrift store. This is a shirt that I got at a thrift store downtown. I thought it was funny. It's like a 70s porn t-shirt. It was like $3. You know, it fits perfectly, it's cute, it's interesting, and no one else has a t-shirt like this. And it's comfortable, it's a really nice material. You know, self-explanatory. T-shirts are great to buy, depending on like what sort of sizing you want, what sort of look, what sort of styles. I personally usually wear my clothing a little bit oversized on top. It's not for any reason other than the fact that I just find it comfortable. Sometimes I wear tighter clothing on top, but I usually don't wear a bra. A bra is another thing that you should definitely do your measurements for. But anyway. Yeah, I usually like something a little bit more oversized on top. It's just comfortable. It looks good. Why not? And then this is just another t-shirt I got. I got it online. It's a Basquiat estate shirt. I really like it. Once again, I think that I got this on Etsy, and when you're buying online on Etsy, you have to think about what you want and where it's coming from, and once again, the measurements. They usually list the measurements in the description box. This shirt is a medium, so I knew it wasn't going to be like super oversized. I wanted it to fit decently but still have a little bit of room, and it was cool. And this shirt itself was $20, but you can't buy it anywhere. Like, I never see these shirts at a regular like mom and pop thrift store. When I've seen them in other places that are like sustainable, they're like $70. It's like a vintage shirt that was given out like from the estate in the 90s, like a couple years after Basquiat died, as like a collaboration. And I love art. I'm like a big art nerd when it comes to stuff like that, so I really wanted one. I shelled out the money for it. It was $20. I think it was worth it. I wear it all the time, and it has a great fit. But it's like when you go to thrift stores, you can find t-shirts. I've gotten t-shirts for $1. I've gotten t-shirts for 50 cents. I have a t-shirt collection, but I won't get into that.
Once again with the collections, I'm telling you, I must be a liar, because I swear, I said I wasn't materialistic, but here I am, mentioning all the things that I own, and I find so precious.
Yeah. The last thing that I personally think you're better off getting at a thrift store: boots.
Boots, 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 boots.
I don't know about you, but I wear boots all the time. I only wear sneakers to go to the gym. Just being honest. If I'm gonna work out, I'll wear a pair of like $30 Adidas that I got at Marshall's, and that's just it. They're running shoes. They do their job. That's that. I don't wear them on a regular basis. The only sneakers that I wear to go outside and hang out in the park or something like that, or run errands, are Converse. I don't wear sneakers. If I'm not wearing a pair of Converse, I'm wearing boots. And pretty much every single pair of boots that I own are from a thrift store. Better quality, unique, just fun. Like, I've always found unique, cool pieces from a thrift store, especially if you're trying to get like cowboy boots. Cowboy boots are something that you could find. They tend to be a bit more pricey because, I mean, to get an authentic cowboy boot is crazy. I actually just bought a pair of cowboy boots that I'm wearing right here. They were $50. Now that's kind of expensive. I wouldn't usually spend this much on a pair of shoes, but my mom actually thought that she would be able to fit into them because they're technically a size 9, but I'm not a size 9, I don't wear a 9, but she does, and they're just thin. They're not made for wide feet, so she could not fit into them, but they fit me well. I'm a 7.5, 8. I usually wear an 8, even though I'm pretty much like mainly a 7.5, but yeah, so I got them. They're fabulous. And they're cowboy boots, and they're great, and they have a heel.
I have a complex about being average height.
So right now I'm 5'7", and I feel great about it. I feel really good about it. Another pair of boots that I've gotten, these boots. They're fabulous. You can go anywhere and throw on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and you wear these boots, and you already look so much cooler. You just do. And they were like $20. I got them online, and it's like, where can you go wrong? They're awesome, awesome shoes. And they're comfortable and cool and stylish. And it's like, I know this is a big trend now where people are getting kind of like that cow look sort of shoe, but I've had these for like 3 years or so, maybe longer. I'd say like 3 years. And it's like, I love them. They're just fucking cool. And they're super comfortable, and they're a really good quality, and they've lasted me a while, you know? So it's like, this is a unique boot. And $20. You see people selling this stuff on the high street now and like regular fast fashion for super expensive. And then you'll see people who get like a similar kind of shoe like this, you know, for sustainable brands or whatever it is, and selling it for just as expensive as what you would get if you just went on like Fashion Nova or what's that other site that people use? Princess Polly or something like that. That's the thing that I think is confusing to me. Like, if I'm supposed to not spend money on fast fashion, why are you charging me fast fashion prices? That makes no sense. Isn't that like hypocritical? Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. And it's like, why would I want to wear something that's secondhand for the same price that I could get something that's new? That's something that a lot of people feel frustrated with and they don't get. And they would rather go out to a fast fashion place like H&M or Forever 21 or whatever it is and get something brand new that's never been worn if people are going to expect them to pay the same price or even more than they would when they would go to a fast fashion shop. Like, it's just ridiculous. But these are another pair of my favorite boots. They're fabulous. They're like a mid-calf kind of boot. You know, this is the perfect like 60s mod boot you can wear with a mini skirt or a long dress or jeans or whatever you want to wear with it. Just wear it by themselves. These were $19. I got them on FredUp. Again, FredUp has really awesome shoes. They don't have that big of a boot selection, but I think that's also just because my shoe size is very common. A lot of people wear a 7.5 and an 8, so I just don't luck out. But I'm sure they have a bunch of different things. And I mean, I've had these for over a year now, so they're a little scuffed in places, but they came in like pretty much perfect condition and quality. And it's like $19. You go to like Steve Madden or something, and they sell shoes like this for like over $100, you know? Like,
Why?
why when you can get the same quality or better for a better price? And it kind of has a story, you know? Like, I don't know, I'm one of those people that kind of wonders like where they came from. I don't know. And then last but not least, this fabulous shoe. This shoe is amazing. They're just great. And it's like a vintage kind of, I don't know what I would call this. It's kind of like a boot, but it's also kind of like, I wouldn't say a Mary Jane, like a loafer, like a heeled loafer. It's amazing. It's incredible. And it was also like $15, $20. And it was such a steal. It's like, you're never going to get this kind of design. It's like a leather feel and material. It's super comfortable. It's like plushed inside. It's great. And it's like, no one ever has stuff like this. Everyone can have the same pair of shoes that they see when they go online or see on a billboard, but I get so many compliments on these shoes or just some of the items that I own because they're unique and you can't find them anywhere else. And I think that's also the fun of buying vintage, is that you get so many different pieces that you can call your own that can really shape an interesting, unique sense of personal style. I don't like to look like everybody else, you know, like there are some times where I will take inspiration from, you know, trends that are going on right now or things that were a trend a while back, but it's like you want to mix it in with your own style to make it your own. That's how you have style. That's how you make fashion your own, and it makes you look cool and interesting and unique. So I love having unique pieces like this, and it was such a good buy. It's like a shoe like this was probably, God knows how much. It's a European brand as well, so it's like this is easily $50 or more when it was first a thing, and now they're mine. Thank you guys for sitting and watching me rant about this stuff. Yeah, I know I got kind of carried away a bit in the middle when I was talking about all the fast fashion and like sustainability stuff, but it really does frustrate me because you see people get on other people and they are so mean and rude and nasty to people because they're like, oh, you don't buy sustainably, you don't do this and you don't do that. And look, I get it, because on one hand, like I can see both sides. On one hand, for certain things, it will cost more to be sustainable because there's a lot of research that has to go into it. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a lot of time and effort and energy to be able to resource and find all this stuff. But it's like when you see people online or just random people on the other end that just get their stuff, like I live in New York. There are tons of thrift stores here. You know, we have little like chain thrift stores and everything like that. It's like if you bought a shirt that I know came from a thrift store that I've been to and I've seen that was $6 there, and you're trying to sell it online for $26, you're kind of an asshole. You know, that's just how I feel about it, because somebody like me or somebody else would not be able to afford that. It's cheaper and it works for people, and why people started thrifting in the first place is because they could not afford to buy more expensive clothing, high street clothing, fast fashion clothing. They literally could not afford to do it, but everyone has to wear clothes. Unfortunately, there's no, you know, the whole world isn't a nudist colony. We can't just walk around and do whatever. That's considered like a public misdemeanor, you know, public indecency. But it's like, people did those things and they still do those things because they can't afford normal whatever stuff, and it's so obnoxious, and I think it is rude and short-sighted and privileged and ridiculous and pretentious for people to try and make a profit off of these people who already can't afford to buy from fast fashion brands. And then anything, it's like you're pushing them more towards going and buying fast fashion because you're making vintage clothing or sustainable clothing and item pieces so expensive. You know, that's just how I see it. I'm obviously not a fashion expert. It's not like I have a degree. That's just kind of like from a consumer's standpoint, you know? And at the end of the day, like, we're the ones that are going to see and try and make these things sustainable. But it's like, if something isn't accessible to the entire public, not just people who can afford to drop $70 on a vintage t-shirt, that's not sustainable. That's not accessible. Sustainability is accessibility. So it's like, until we find a way to like mix in both, it's just gonna be a whole mess. So those were my vintage staples. Those were items that I think are amazing if you're able to get at the thrift store. Those are some items that have been in my wardrobe for years now, and I love them, and they have never done me wrong. So yeah, if you want to see more vintage or fashion stuff, or just hear my ranting and rambles about how I feel about all this stuff, please let me know. Leave me a comment. Tell your girl how you feel. If you disagree with me, you know, If you want to send me resources about where I can learn more about fashion and sustainability, and who knows, potentially change my mind on this stuff, let me know. I'm willing, I'm open, I'm able. So yeah, I will see you all very, very soon. And I hope you guys enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy whatever else you have to do. So stay snazzy, my friends.